What up, y'all? Yo. Yeah. Daily go-getterism. What we talking about? Yeah, don't flunk out. Yeah. Hit that like button. Stop being stingy. It's Monday, MLK Day. You know what I mean? Represent, I said. What's up? TK, right? Emily. Yeah. Baljeet or Lauren. My girl Maria. How y'all feeling? Crash. Dimples. Hit that like button. Smash the likes, y'all. So tonight, we talking about flunking out of school. And that's on any level. Even though the poll question has to do with college. But we talking about flunking, failing on any level. Whether we talking about flunking a grade, in elementary school or whatever, or whether you got your first shock when you flunked a class in college. Now I know this covers a lot of people. Yo. Shout out to all my returning students. Whether it's high school or college, they might not have got it done when they was young. Came back, flipped it. Gotta get it together, y'all. I said that. One time. My name is Sun 7. What's yours? Write yours. Surely, the world's most precious pearl. The greatest one in the world. What up, yo? Somebody said go faster. Still got to keep the same tempo. Damn, y'all stingy as shit with the lights tonight. All right. I see what we doing. It's all good, baby. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily. It's the daily go-get-a-mism show. You think it ain't when it is. You think it won't when it is. We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking all fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about flunked out and came back and finished tonight. What do you know about dropping out of class, dropping out of school, failing a grade, failing a class, having to take that thing over again, taking that thing over again, possibly failing it again, destroying your GPA like a, but still realizing that you got to have this class, so you did whatever you had to do to pass that thing. Your tenacity took over. Your determination took over. Your determination to win, to survive, to get through, said, look, I might not be able to do this the way that I really want to do it, but I'm going to make sure that the job gets done. All right, so everybody within the sound of my voice has been to school. Some of us did really well in school. Some of us may have even been a valedictorian. Maybe some of us, graduated summa cum laude, magna cum laude. That's all right. Some come loudly, many come loudly. Some come loudly, many come loudly. Anyway, whatever the case is, when you get that grade, that failing grade. Now, this is assuming that you failed a class before. Some people have never done that. And shout out to all of my people who are scholastically astute in the way that they've never failed a class. I would not be able to be in that group. I failed a class before. I failed a grade before. I flunked 8th grade, y'all. 8th grade, you know what I mean? Puberty and age 13 hit me like a ton of bricks. I had to repeat 8th grade. And it was a tough period in my life. It was. To me at the time, that was the greatest failure you could have ever, like, who does that? Who fails a grade? Unless you're totally stupid. Well, maybe that was me at the time. But I had to get back on the horse. It was only in the 8th grade. I had to get back on the horse, come back, do better, and move on to high school. And of course, that's what I did. But after that experience, it let me know that a failure is not the end of the world, and that it can develop over a period of time, and it can really mess you up. But you'll start to have more compassion for the struggles that some people have in school. I've never had a problem doing math or reading or any of that kind of shit. How you going to flunk a grade and win the class spelling bee in the same year? Who does that? But when you're up and down, when you're inconsistent, you know what I'm saying? Shit can happen. But it was a big blow. I remember my stepdad saying to me, he said, you flunked 8th grade. Oh, he said, watch, you won't fail anything ever again. Watch. He said, because I know you don't like the way it felt. And, I really appreciated him for that. He was very compassionate about that. Now, he wasn't like, he dropped out of high school. So he wasn't in a position to like help me with my homework and any of that kind of stuff. But he could always give me the good word, and he could always encourage me to believe that I was better or the best. And he did that to the day of his passing. And I always loved him for that. Well, what about people who don't have that? What about people who have parents that'll just let them fail? Some people have failed a grade twice. They may not have repeated the same grade twice, but let's say you failed. Let's say you failed 4th grade, and then later on you failed 9th grade or some shit like that. It happens. It happens, and sometimes it's not spread that far apart. So that's what we talk about tonight on the daily. Now I'm up here fronting like I can dance and all that shit. My back is killing me. My back is killing me. Back is killing me. I don't know if you're feeling me, but my back is killing me. I'm looking for the better way to be. But as my back hurts, you see, I've got to compensate in another way. But I'm here right in front of y'all today. I will not fail. And if I fail, I'm coming back in the mail. Y'all will not see me stop. I'm going out like somebody shooting at the cops. But I would never do that. I'm real. But I gotta make sure I show off my skills. But when I see y'all always get inspired, and I'm about to bring that kind of conversation that's fire. My word is something that I speak, and my technique is what I tweak. If I see it ain't working out this time, I'm going back to the lab, and I'm about to have me another different style that I'm bringing you. You see me sometimes rapping, sometimes singing, but I'm bringing the heat, and now nobody against me could really compete. Every night, 365 days a year, y'all gonna see me in front of the screen, clear, HD. Turn up the resolution. I got me a whole lot of questions and a bunch of solutions. Yeah, smooth like lotion. Drink it down, feels like potion. Makes you feel good like a pill. You can get high if you want to do, if you feel like that's the best way that you can swing. My name is Sun 7, but I'm like the king. Not the king of your castle, or maybe even your place or your house. So yo, give me my space. Cause my space is where I stretch my shit out. And I'm about this tearing that shit out. The God on my side, baby. Yo, my niggas right here ready to ride, baby. Even got my females, they be coming along. They be like, son, yo, do that song. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna put my drums away. Ow. All right. We good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. All right, I need y'all to hit the like button. Y'all not, Yo, we only got 8 like, come on, man. I'm trying to get in the algorithm. My name's Son Algorithm. Can you help me? Can you help me with my last name? So we're talking about flunking, failing. You know, one of the biggest problems with flunking a grade or flunking a class or even failing a test, because I've seen some people really, really flip out because they failed an exam. They had never done that shit before. Maybe they had strict parents. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of times, parents from foreign countries, when they come to the United States, they be like, listen, we did not come over here to fail at anything. I need you to stay focused and make sure that you keep your nose to the grindstone. No, failure is not an option. You're going to learn the language. You're going to, master your classes, and you're going to graduate at the top of your class. I need you to do that. I need you to do that. It's levels, baby. It's levels, 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 levels. So failing a class for the first time or even getting a D can be like a gut punch to some people. Ah, woo. I said, woo. So what's your story? We gonna get into it and get involved, these puzzle pieces right now. We gonna solve, we gonna get into it and get involved. We gonna show love. Yeah, and we'll solve. All right. So do y'all understand? Do you understand the metaphoric phrase, light as a rock? It's explaining how deep the young lady is. Yes, my brother, but I would consider light as a rock a simile because of the usage of the word as. So a lot of people have dropped out of, when it comes to high school, when it comes to college, there are a lot of famous people that never finished high school. There are a lot of people, and I'm talking about people that you know of, most rappers that y'all are aware of that have reached the top, they haven't graduated high school. Nas never graduated high school. LL Cool J never graduated high school. He went back and got his GED. Jehovah, Jay-Z never graduated high school. He went to school. He was actually in the same school with Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G. Now, how is it that Jay-Z was born in 1968 and Biggie Smalls, who also did not graduate high school, was in high school, who wasn't born? Biggie wasn't born till like 72, 73. Yeah. Okay, let's say 72. I think Biggie was born in 72. How were they in the same school 4 years apart? How in the same high school? How'd that work? And neither one of them graduated. There are a lot of entertainers who quit high school in order to pursue their rap career because they was already getting paid. Some of them were in the streets and things like that. And I'm sure that if they didn't graduate high school, they probably wasn't getting all A's. Now I can't say that for sure, but I'm going to assume, I'm even going to bet that they probably weren't into school as much as an honor student probably was. Probably. What up, Chris? Okay. Oh, no. Ooh, wait a minute. I might have to take. Okay. All right, Chris, you might be all right. Yeah, I mean, Cibolina. What up, Justin? Justin Illusion. All right. What's good? And Justin says, honestly, I've never had to show my high school diploma one time after earning it. Yeah. Nobody asks you to, because nobody runs around with their high school diploma. But most jobs do require you to have a high school diploma. And if it's necessary, they can check it. But like, sure, you can just lie on a job application or a resume and say that you have a high school diploma, I doubt if they're going to check it. Now, for years, decades even, jobs were not checking to see if you actually had a college degree. So a lot of people for years were frauding, getting jobs that required a college degree and they didn't have one. So now, not only will they not check it, but they will require you to show your college degree, whether it's an associate's degree or bachelor's degree, or definitely, absolutely a master's degree. But people have gotten jobs that required a master's degree and they didn't even have an associate's degree. Shout out to y'all frauds. Because I don't know who snitched. And I don't know if it was because they weren't doing their job well. But they got away with it. JJ, my brother Jay. Jay, what's good? How you feeling? It's Cheryl Halsey. What up, Ma? Good to see me some you. It's always good to see my peoples all up in the place. Doing the damn thing. Doing the damn thing. Doing the damn thing. All right. Yo, check out Missy. All right, so I'm gonna go get my chair over here because, like I said, man, my back is on some other shit. So let me go mosey on over here and get my. Hold on, while I'm here, let me take care of this, son. Let me take care of this, son. All right, okay, here we go. All right, so how's everybody? Everybody good? Everybody good? Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. So we're talking about flunked out, went back and finished. Where are my returning students at? Where are my students who went to college when they was 17, 18 years old, got there, you know what I mean, got pregnant, had to get on up out of there. Got there, started partying, getting high, had to get on up out of there. Had to leave early. Got there, decided not to go to class, never had any freedom before, took unfair advantage of their freedom, missed classes, you know what I mean? It was the first time that they could cut school, cut class, and nobody was there to yell at them. Flunked out, had to get on up out of there. Where y'all at? Oh, y'all college students who got to college, found a job that was paying you without a degree, and you decided, well, shit, I already have a good job now. And that's actually getting in the way of me going to school. So, yeah, out of here. Where y'all at? Oh, yo, check out Missy says, answer the question. Or can we just call in to say hi? Wait, what was your question? Do we have to answer for the W? What's the W? I've never, JJ says, I never had to show a degree to go into PT, but I did have to produce a license. That may not have come exactly right. Okay. Yeah, I was a little confused, but it's okay. It's all right. We good. All right. Yeah. Oh, yo, check out Missy. You're gonna have to make yourself a little bit more clear. You said I tried to spell question. Okay, but I'm still not sure with how to answer your question because I don't know what your question is. Like, what do you want to know? The number is there. You can call in if you want to speak on the show. That's what the phone number is there for. It will be your voice, but not your face. You know, so we'll just hear your audio and you can say whatever you want to say. There's no censorship on this platform whatsoever. You know what I mean? You can if you want to curse, you can curse. You want to laugh, cry, argue, fuss, fight, yell, scream, troll. Y'all know, for those of y'all who have been on this channel, y'all know trolls come through. We let them live. All right, go ahead. Troll away, sir. Troll away. But not that long. But I'll give you a shot. I'll give you a shot. So yeah, but that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Getimism show. Flunked out, went back and finished. So where are my returning students? The high school dropouts that went back and got their GED, the college dropouts that, you know, were unfocused when they first went to college and went back and got their degree afterwards. All right, we have a caller calling. Let's see. If it's a troll, we take control. Let's see what we working with here.
You have a call from
caller with. Oh shit! This is definitely a troll. All right, what up? What's good? Go ahead, spit it.
No, this is Marisa. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought I recognized the number. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Hey, how are you tonight?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you.
Yo, it's good to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
So what's on your mind tonight?
Because low-key, I was trying to say about, like, if you dropped out of college, I completed my I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
No. If you're saying, like, if you dropped out of college, my dude, I figured it was so much easier for me to just go ahead and get my 2-year degree and then be done.
But that's not really dropping out of college, is it?
I mean, it wasn't like the whole 4 years, but I figured it was okay.
Yeah, well, a 2-year degree is a college degree. So that's still 60 credits. A 4-year degree is 120 credits minimum. You know what I mean? And you know, because whether you may be going for a Bachelor of Arts, which is 120 credits,
I went for my associate's, easy breezy.
No, I'm saying that's 60 credits. That's still a college degree. If you dropped out, you wouldn't have any degree.
Oh, well then shoot. Then I have no reason to call you tonight. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, it's okay. Because you can still answer some questions that I have, like, what was college challenging for you? Did you ever think about maybe dropping out or taking a semester off or something like that?
No, I was a little bit on the poor side. So, I mean, whatever financial assistance could give me, then I took it. Okay,
but I'm talking about as far as your classes were concerned. Were there ever times where you felt like maybe the class workload was too high? You know what I mean? Maybe you felt like it was too hard sometimes. You know, because some of those 2-year degrees are hard to get, like a business degree.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know if you remember me. You might not have when you asked a few days ago, like, has anyone ever been locked up?
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah. I definitely remember you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yup. So yeah, man, shit, to stay paid for my time. God, I'm super straight. I did my Associate of Science, man. I got that shit. I'm super straight. Good job, self.
Well, number one, congratulations on that. Because from my point of view, college is for everybody, but at the same time, it's not for everyone, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's good for everybody, but it's really not for everybody. You have to have a certain amount of concentration and tenacity. You have to have, like, the will to you know, overcome certain obstacles.
Yo, it's hard though, because so my degree was Associate of Science, which was not, you know.
I never heard of that.
No. No, it was my AS. Like, it wasn't like that. Really?
No, I've never heard of anybody getting an associate's degree in science. I've never heard anybody say that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So I'm like, wow, they did some shit. So what kind of jobs do you get when you get an? What kind of jobs do you look for when you have an associate's degree in a science field?
Well, as a convicted felon, you don't really get a lot. It's just really something you can add to your credentials, something you can add to your name, but it doesn't really mean anything like, yeah.
Why you say that? Just because you are a convicted felon, that doesn't, they have they've relaxed so many guidelines or restrictions for convicted felons, especially depending on what the felony is. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to get a good job or career as a convicted felon than it used to be like maybe 20, 30 years ago.
Absolutely. I have an associate of science degree, whatever. It's totally fine. I'm able to work, and I'm very happy with my career path. But it's not as great as it would be if I got it from an actual university or an actual, like community college, that sort of thing.
Well, where did you get a degree from?
I learned my credits when I was incarcerated.
It's the same. It's the same. I mean, think about it. You still had to do the coursework and you still had to pass the classes, or you could have flunked the classes and not got the degree. Now, a lot of people who take online classes instead of actually attending the university, some of them feel like their degree is irrelevant or doesn't have as much value, but that's not necessarily true.
No, negative. Nah, my dude, you can read, write, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing. It's the same.
So don't discount your degree just because you got it while you're incarcerated. Actually, that's something to be proud of. You know what I mean? I mean, think about how many people get their law degree while they're locked up.
Yeah.
I would absolutely allow somebody who was incarcerated who got a law degree to represent me. Who would be better to do that? Because, I mean, they really be learning the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't playing.
I mean, you definitely have to know, like, your skill set. Yo, I don't mean to cut you off at all, but also thank you for taking my call. Also, thank you for realizing I am not a troll. What?
Yo, I want to thank you for not being a troll. How about that?
Who does
I want to thank you for not being a troll. You made my night. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, give me a virtual high five. This is a no troll high five. Thank you. Thank you.
Damn, who does that though? People are the worst.
Keep listening for the rest of the night. You'll see.
I decline. But yo, let me ask you this, completely unrelated. Mm-hmm. How you remember Martin Luther King Day was?
Man, you know what? MLK Day is always good for me. You know, I mean, I don't really do shit, but actually, this MLK Day was my daughter's birthday. So, we had.
Happy birthday, your daughter.
Thank you. She turned 20 years old today.
What?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you're old enough to have a 20-year-old.
I'm 55 years old. You crazy?
You look fabulous.
Well, I hope I look fabulous, sir, as time goes on. But time ain't on my side. I'm 55. I'll be 56 this year.
Well, you look great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
Well, happy birthday to your baby. So what'd you do for her birthday?
Man, we went out to eat. I bought her a couple of presents and all of that. You know what I mean? We just kind of kicked it because I'm from Philly and she's from New York. So she came down to visit me and she'll be here with me for the rest of the week. So, we just kick it.
That's so nice. You're going to have such a good time with her.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. But yeah, that's my little princess turned 20 today. Like, what kind of shit is this? 20?
Wait,
who does that?
How many kids do you have?
Only one biological.
Damn, dude.
Yep. Only one biological.
Well, I'm team no kids, so
hey,
I like them for others. Yo, if you know any single men, even if they have kids, what's up? So hi, how you doing?
All right. You know what? I'm going to look out for you. You know what I mean?
You ain't know that life.
I got to know what you look like, though.
Wait, what?
I said, I got to know what you look like, though. You know what I mean? I can't hook you up with somebody and be like, yo, she sound like, yo, she sound great.
Sir, I sound great and I look great. Okay, wait, how do I like send you something like quietly? Like I can send you I can send you like my Instagram. I can send you like my Facebook with my actual factual government name. Like how do I mean I don't want it like
No. Hit me hit my email. Sun752 SUN752 at AOL.com. I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the comments.
Please do. Bet.
And that's how you know I'm old, because I got an AOL email address.
So I have an AOL.
That's right, at AOL. That's right. I'm still here. It still exists.
Definitely have a 20-year-old. Oh my goodness.
No doubt.
This was good though. I had a really happy time to talk to you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Don't hesitate to call in again. And thank you.
Yo, but Sam, you're actually right. Like getting like a degree, even though you're going, I mean, it still counts.
It does.
It still counts. It still counts.
Not just for your for a career, but it counts because, you know, one thing people try to discount the power of going to college all the time, but college teaches you how to how to think. It teaches it builds pathways in your mind.
Yo, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm literally in my bedroom right now. I was thinking about having a drink, and I wasn't gonna do it, but since you said it, yeah, I'm probably gonna go for it.
Okay, do your thing. Drink responsibly. You're already in bed. I think you'll be all right.
Look. I'm in pajamas. Well, I'm in Steelers pajamas, but it should be straight.
Just don't get too drunk and horny and make a booty call. Just don't do that.
I stay with family, my dude. Nah.
You sure you ain't had a drink already?
What?
You sure you ever had a drink or two already?
You little bit so. I'm single as a drop of jail. Atlanta is a very hard city to meet people in. Atlanta is a hard city to meet people in. So
it is? Shoot, I thought the A was sprawling with people. I thought you meet people by mistake more than on purpose in the A.
Okay, like I mean, I don't know how to say it. Like if you're cool with the gays, like it's absolutely fine. But if you're trying to meet someone of a different gender or sex than you, then it's a little bit harder. Yeah.
Okay. I can understand that. I definitely can. Gotta be careful in the A.
Yes, sir. All right, enjoy your evening. Happy birthday to your baby.
Okay, thank you. All right, you have a good night. Be safe.
Sir. Thank you.
All right. Good stuff all day. Good caller. Every time she calls in, she, you know what I mean? She shake up the snow globe. Shake up the snow globe, baby. What up, my peoples? My man, Jay Sloan. My man, my brother Jason Sloan is all up in the house, and my brother Bryce all up in here. What's good? Yeah, you know what? I don't know. She told us her age. I think she like in her 40s. She like in her 40s, Bryce. She like in her 40s, Bryce. When she said, if she send me the info, I'll put you on. You know what I mean? If she send me the info, I'll put you on, my brother. I got you.
You have a call from
my brother, the one them called, my brother, one them called. What the one them called? Try. What the one them called? Try. Why you call me on your telephone? You call me on the phone, boy.
What can I say? Everything's okay. I'm on the phone with my brother's son. It's hip hop parade. It's today, not tomorrow. I'm going far. When I get a car, I'm coming back to the bar. Damn, bars all day, bro.
Bars all day. Bars all day. You know what I mean?
And it's not called the A. It's called the A.
You feeding the bars to the alligators. You know what I'm saying? You got them snapping. You got the alligators snapping, son. You got them snapping.
Yo, it's not called the A. It's called the A.
The A. Oh shit! Oh my god!
You better watch out for the branches today. Because if you a man, you might not be okay.
Yo, chill, side.
I'm serious, ATL.
Hey, it is what it is.
Y'all, man, what's going on, my brother?
Man, everything is all right, and everything's gonna be all right.
Well, let me tell you something. I got a proclamation on what I'm planning on doing this week. If my big can stop harassing me to go to sleep, my goal is to be on here every night this week. You like that bar too?
Definitely.
My big can stop harassing me to go to sleep.
Bow.
My goal is to be on the chat all day this week.
Bow. Boop, bop, bop, bop. He bringing back the boom bat. He bringing back the boom bat. Returning the boom bat.
Freestyle style free.
All right. Well, today is Monday, so this is the first installment. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Hey, I'm gonna try my best, bro.
All right. So we talking about flunked out, went back and finished. So we talking about whether you flunked a grade, whether you flunked out of school, whether you dropped out, whether you flunked a test. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talking about tonight. Because this show is really about redemption. You know what I mean? When you flunk a grade, when you flunk out of school, when you flunk a test, it feels like failure because that's really what it is. You know what I mean? You're literally graded on this shit. You know what I mean? Like you in school, we are literally graded on our performance. So we already are conditioned to know whether we did well or how we place in a certain area versus another area. And it's there for all of us to compete against our classmates. Now, some of us resent the fact that we have to compete in that way, but that's the way it's set up. And the ones who do well never complain about the way it's set up. But you know.
That's in life. Competing is in life. Whether you competing in school or you competing at a job, hey, you going to compete.
That's true.
You know what I mean, you going to compete, bro.
Hey, but they took dodgeball out of school. Dodgeball was the problem. Dodgeball. So they'll let you flunk out of school, but getting put out with a ball, that was just too much for you to bear. That was bullying. It's about the dumbest shit I ever heard.
That's the truth. That's the truth, man. No, I didn't flunk out of school. I graduated from high school and I got a degree, man. And I didn't use the degree because I fell in love with my career. You know what I mean?
And it's funny you say that because that's one on the poll question. That's one of the answers. People people dropping out, even though you didn't drop out, but people dropping out because they found a job that they wanted to do, and it was like, well, fuck it, I just do this. I went to college to get a job. I already got one. I'm good.
Yeah, a degree in electrical engineering, and it wasn't because I wanted it. It was because my grandmother wanted me to get it. She was always looking towards the future of computers. But my brain said, I don't like anything that has tree in it. And that's trigonometry or geometry. I couldn't stand none of that shit.
And what did you get your, what was your major in school?
Electrical engineering.
Well, then you had a lot of trees in it. They was treeing you to death.
Yeah, and what happened was when I did get out of school, I had a perfect storm that God arranged for me to have a son. And at the end of that was, forget that damn electrical there. I needed a job at that expeditiously on my TI.
And how old were you when you fathered your first child?
Let's see, 24.
24. You were still in college?
No. 25. 25.
So you but were you still in college though?
No, I wasn't still in college.
Okay. So all right. Mm-hmm.
So when I came home, it was like a year and a half that I had a son, and I was looking for the right job, but nothing really appealed to me in electrical engineering. So my first job was at a place called Sam's. No, my first job, I went around and worked at jobs. I worked at Consumers. Remember Consumers?
Yeah, I do.
I worked at Consumers where you go in there, you write the stuff down on a paper, you give it to the person, and they go in the back and get what you want.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I worked at Consumers, I worked at Toys R Us, I worked at Acme, but I fell in love with this one place called Sam's Clam Bar, right between Geno's and Pat Steaks in Philadelphia. And I've been in culinary ever since. I've been a chef ever since for 31 years.
So at the time, was the clam bar paying you enough to circumvent a degree in electrical engineering?
It had nothing to do with that. It had something to do with that. It was paying me enough to make sure I could provide for my son. But so, I mean, I wasn't really thinking about electrical engineering no more because my mind was fried from it. You know what I mean? I lost the love of it because it was so hard to get the degree that I was like, I'm not going out here and getting a job that's going to make me have to jump through the window. No, I need a job that I can feel happy and comfortable with. And when I got that Sam's Clam Bar, I was making money, but I wasn't making enough until what made me a little bit hungry in culinary was when I went to Sam's daughter, and her name was Janine, and she was like, I went to them and I was like, look, I need more money. I got this, I got that. They said, well, Troy, the only thing you're doing is cleaning mussels and making cocktail sauce. You got to learn how to cook in here. Damn, let me cook. That's when I jumped in there and started cooking. Then I became then after that, something happened in there and I had to handle something verbally and deal with some customers. Then I became somewhat of a security guard. So Sam pulled me inside the cashier booth, said, Troy, I want you to learn to register, but I also want you to know I got a black 9 Glock, and I got a sawed-off shotgun in here. Do what you got to do, and I deal with it. So he showed me that. Then I became pretty much I became a manager. I was a manager for like 4 years. You know,
okay.
I was making money. I was up in there. I met every star you can imagine. You know, I was getting free tickets to concerts. You know, so I mean, it was fun and it was profitable because the thing about Sam is that I would work double shifts sometimes. So I would work from 3 in the afternoon to like maybe 6:30, 7 in the morning. And then I would have to clock out. Then we'll go shopping down to the restaurant depot or the Jetro and go get the stuff for there. And then we'll go get breakfast and I'm still on the clock.
Okay.
So I'm getting paid overtime.
But you did, but
9 times out of 10, I only get done until like what? About 10:30, 11 o'clock.
All right, but what's your flunking story? Or do you not have one?
I was just saying, I've never flunked out, but I failed some tests that had been a brink of flunking out, man.
Okay.
And the thing about it is that when you're in the college scene, it's so easy to get hooked up into that party and shit.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? You know, it's so easy to get hooked up into, you know, especially when you before you went to college, you was already doing the party and shit. You know what I mean? So when you get to college and you start seeing what you're seeing, and you go to some frat parties, you know, you go to parties off the damn campus. Man, listen, bro. Them parties almost had me flunk out. They almost had me partying, almost had me flunking out.
What that's the thing. That's the thing about college for young students, you know, that may have grew up with strict parents or whatever. You know, they get that first taste of freedom. You know what I mean? They're able to drink, they're able to fuck, they're able to not go to class, they're able to move around. You know what I mean? They like a lot of young, well, older teenagers and younger 20-year-olds. You know what I mean? Sometimes they can't handle it. 18 years old.
Not to cut you off real quick, because Bryce, not be disrespectful, but Bryce said, I'm calling in to get away from my wife. I don't have a wife. Your wife is my wife. He's my side piece.
Yo, when we on the phone, stay here. Stay here.
Okay, I stay here.
Yeah, stay here. They're there. You're here. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you want to respond to them in the chat. Not you don't break the conversation, you know what I mean, to talk to them. So like
my most humble sincere apology, Sensei.
It's all good. So yeah, like, you know, young 17, 18, 19 years old, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them get caught up. A lot of kids go to, you know, they might do well in their first semester and start to fall off in their second semester of their freshman year, or when they come back as a sophomore or something like that. You know, fuck around, get them wind up on academic probation, lose their financial aid, because I don't know if it's still like this, but I remember that when we was in college, in order to qualify for full financial aid, you had to take 12 credits. You had to take at least 24 credits a year. So the minimum of a full-time schedule was 12 credits. But what you could do, if let's say you took 16 credits, a 16 credit semester, and let's say you had to drop 2 classes. So you dropped 2 3-credit classes, which would have put you at only 10 credits. You could still take another, like take a bigger load for your spring semester.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait a minute, let me finish. You could take like, let's say you took 18 credits for your spring semester to make up for the 6 credits that you dropped before, or you could go to summer school and pick up those credits. So as long as you had 24 credits a year, you could qualify for financial aid. But if you flunked out, if you didn't keep a certain GPA for the financial aid, they would revoke it until you got your GPA up. So a lot of cats weren't able to do that, and then they wind up so-called taking the semester off, and that could snowball into you getting a job, getting pregnant, getting somebody pregnant, you know, and all of that. And a lot of people never returned back to school until 20, 30 years later. They came back and got a degree because they had, you know, maybe they were trying to move up in position on their job, and it required a degree that they had credits for but never completed. Now go ahead, what you were saying?
Yeah, but and also some people don't know, because I know when I was applying for financial aid and everything, government assistance from the government, you know, they had it where you had to sign up for selected service. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. When did they stop that? Because they was talking about doing it again.
Huh?
I know they was talking about implementing that again.
Yeah, I never knew they stopped it. I think
wait, hold on. I'm gonna Google it right now. Do you still have to register for selective service in order to receive financial aid? No, you no longer have to register for selective service to receive federal financial aid, thanks to the FSA Simplification Act of 2020, which removed this link, but registration is still required by law for most men aged 18 to 25 and can affect state aid and other benefits. So it's wise to register anyway, often easily done through the FAFSA form itself. So damn, so it was going on for a long time. Up until
like 5 years ago, that shit just, 5 years ago, it just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I didn't even go. Shit, this was at the time when you had to go to the post office and fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, because I really didn't want to do that shit. I didn't want to fill out the paperwork, but my mom was like, "You better take your ass down there and fill that paperwork out. I got this stuff together for you to leave."
For real.
Get the hell out here. You get the hell out of my house right now.
Hey, listen. You know, like college worked for students and parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, get them the fuck out of it. But you know, it was when you flunk out of school and then you back at the crib. You know what I mean? You know, now your parents looking at you sideways. Cause now it's like, now you considered to be grown, or they looking at you like, well, you feel like you was grown because you done dropped out of college. I don't know what you think is going to be around here. You know, parents start talking about paying rent. Like, your room ain't free no more. You know, as long as you was in school, free room and board. Now you about to be putting food in that refrigerator that you eat. You buying your own toiletries. Don't touch that soap. Shit, you might have to get your own washcloths and towels.
Fuck. Stop buying regular soap for the house. She stopped buying KMA.
Hey, you know, that empty nest started looking a little different. So, you know, flunking out can kick off a powder keg of other things that you didn't really think about that may have an impact on your freedom of movement.
And you know what? You know, a lot of people that flunked out turn to that street pharmaceutical shit.
Well, if you wasn't selling drugs before you went to college, you ain't selling them afterwards.
Hey, believe me, son, I've seen it. I've seen like maybe 3 of my boys get involved. That I was shocked. Like, why would you be going that route?
Yeah, because
they look for a quick fix, and they that journey went down a dark road, bro.
Hey, man, that ain't a well, I'll say this. That's not a game for late bloomers. But hey, you know, hey, motherfucker, you are attacking me. This is an attack. This is considered an attack. You know what I mean? You've been pressing me all night. What's up with you? Look at me with that dumbass face. No, the cat. You know what I mean? This motherfucker. Yo, she been on some shit. This motherfucker wild. Chill. She's just looking like, what? What's that? What's that, nigga? You know what I mean? Like, yo, back up off me. Good kitty. Nice kitty. Fun kitty. Fuck out of here, kitty. All right, so.
Yeah, man, I'm going to let you know, like, I had a cousin. He played for a private for Scotland. Remember Scotland?
Yeah, I had 2 brothers who went to Scotland.
Yeah, my cousin Dwayne played there. Played football there. It was big time there, man. You know what I mean? Hurt his knee. Hill went to go play some college football. He flunked out. Street pharmaceuticals, man. And I was like, and I tried to deter him from it because I know we didn't grow up on that. That's not something that we grew up on. It was him and one of my other cousins, and I had a conversation with both of them. One walked away, the other one stayed and kept doing his thing. You know, and sometimes you get caught out. You got some years in there, got shot. You know, and by the grace of God, you know, he woke up from it. But once you sometimes, you know, flunking out can lead, like you said, you got to go back home. Mom harassed you, dad harassed. Especially if you got both mom and dad in there, and they could wait for you to get out the house.
Man. Yeah. Now.
Wait.
Because now I never had that problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I never had no problem at the crib, whatever, but I knew that I was about to start doing things that my mom ain't had no business seeing. So, you know, I knew it was time for me to, you know, take a different route. Cause I ain't gonna be sneaking down the basement, you know, or when nobody home but for so long. But you know, at the same time, like I rode the whole academic probation thing often enough. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't had nothing to do with. Let me put it this way. I never once thought about dropping out, but I did think about taking a semester off before, and I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm really glad I didn't do it because who knows? Who knows how I could have got sidetracked? And what the fuck was I going to do in the meantime? Well, I can't really say that because I was working at the Fed. I was working at the Federal Reserve Bank. And shit, I could have worked there for the rest of my career until my boy fucked it up for me. No, my man.
The one in Center City?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had a boy that worked in there. His name was William Mackey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, did I know him?
All this shit. He played basketball at Bach. He passed away a couple years ago. Thought I threw that name out there because you might have known him.
That sounds familiar as hell.
Tall, he wore glasses, brown skin.
Let me ask, you know what? I'm going to see if my man know. Because he knew everybody.
He died of cancer about 3 years ago. Yeah, but he worked there. Matter of fact, he worked there until his death. Yeah, he was working there until his death.
How you spell Mackey? How you spell his last name?
Mackey. I had another boy there named Andre, a muscle guy. Looked like he lifted up the moon and the earth. He worked there too. He went to Bach with me.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, yeah, that's a retirement job right there. As soon as you get in, you don't gotta leave.
It used to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything done changed, man. You know what I mean? Okay. Everything changed. But here I am working there at 19, 20 years old. You know what I mean? That was a nice joint. That was a good joint.
How you get in? I'm not trying to get off subject, but how the hell did you get in there?
I applied for it. You know, this was back in the day when you would go to company to company, fill out applications, and that's what I did. And they called me back. I was like, bet, because I was working at a damn telemarketing job. I was like, that thing came through, and like I said, I had a leadership position, so I got two of my boys' jobs there, like off the rip. And one of them stayed and did well, and the other one totally fucked up everything, to whereas I couldn't even come back. That's why you got to watch out who you give opportunities to, boy. He came right in stealing time and all that old nut ass shit.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, you know, the most important thing is nothing wrong. I mean, if you don't want to flunk out, or if any situation like that do occur, you want to be in a position where you come home and hit the ground rolling on plan B. Because if you come home and you don't have no plan B, or you don't even have a thought of what you're going to do, and you become stagnated, things can go in a different direction, whether it's negative. When that negativity kicks in, you will be fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You will fuck yourself up because the streets is going to be the street all day. And you can't, and I've seen it. I've seen 3 or 4 of my boys, two still in jail, two got killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It can happen. You know, it's just so happened that some people do that, but it's also people that I've seen come home from school and get a job and just until they find that niche. I've seen some of my boys come home from college and get into the trade. Now they plumbers, some of them do carpentry, heating and air conditioning. So I mean, you know, it's a gift and a curse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Or let's switch it around. It's a curse and a gift. You flunked out on the curse, but the gift was you went to a trade and you found something that you love to do.
Right. But you have to take into consideration the feelings that you have when you flunking out. That shit be feeling like you holding on to a ledge. You know what I mean? Like you trying to hold on. You know your hands and your arms are only but so strong. You know what I mean? But here you are holding on to that ledge like, oh my God, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fall to my death if I let go. That's how it feels when you flunking out of school. Unless you don't give a fuck. If you getting high or you know what I mean, or you was trying to actually get kicked out because you was just sick of it, it ain't no big deal. But then again, they say it ain't no big deal. But don't nobody really want to go out like that. It don't feel right. Because you took the time. You took the time to apply for the school, go to the school. There was a time when you were doing well in the school, you know, going to your classes and really trying. And then, you know what I mean, something happened. And, you know, college is a little different than high school. It's more intense. And the time that you have to get shit done is shorter than the whole year that you had when you was in high school and junior high, middle school, elementary school, and all of that kind of shit. You got to get it done when you come to college. So for a lot of people, that intensity, especially if you was barely really getting by in high school, because it happens with a lot of people. And that's whether you play sports or not. You might have just been one of those non-disruptive, funny or gregarious students in school, in high school. And it got you over a lot. So you might have got grades that you didn't really deserve. So instead of getting a C, you might have got B pluses or A minuses. You know what I mean? But when you got to college, you realize how that kind of handicapped you because you couldn't play that game no more. You did your work or you didn't. But you wasn't going to smile, laugh, and smooth your way into some professor who ain't got time for you.
The thing about it, what people don't understand is that when you're in college, you're on your own. You have to wake your own self up. Mom and dad wake you up no more. Mm-hmm. people don't understand that when you go to college, you're grown. You your own person. I mean, if you develop a bond with your roommate, if you got a roommate or whatever you go through in college and y'all develop that bond, that's different. Because me and my roommate was tight. You know what I mean? But you turn back around. If you turn back around and you ain't got that bond, them oversleeping, you will get caught up. You better at the end of the day, you better have a fucking damn alarm clock. You better make it to your class.
I'm gonna tell you this, and this is a fact that I'm ashamed of. I only had one black roommate that was a good roommate, and he was a young boy. Cause he was a smart dude. He didn't fuck around. You know what I mean? He went to his classes, did his thing, cut hair, you know what I mean? Was managing a music group and all of that shit. As a matter of fact, my young brother just turned, let's see, I'm 55. He must have just turned 52. 52 on the 17th. My young brother Ade. But the rest of my black roommates, they wasn't doing shit. You know what I mean? The white roommates I had though, them motherfuckers stayed out of the way. Like, you don't go to class, that's on you. They went. You know what I mean? Look, they went, they drunk, they did whatever they had to do, but you know what I mean? They was on their shit. The other black roommates I had, they wanted to smoke, drink, you know what I mean? Chase pussy. They wanted to chase probation. You know, get put out and all that old dumb shit. I wasn't going out like that. I was like, I ain't come here for that. But
and that's the thing about it. My first roommate, I still remember his name, white boy named Greg. Mm. And it got to the point where, he was a Miami Dolphins fan. Mm. But the thing about it is that We didn't have a problem, but he had a color issue. I didn't know it, but he did. He knew. A majority of the guys that I went to college with, some of them went to, I went to high school with too. So I had a bunch of football players. And he didn't like the fact that all my boys was coming up to the room and, but he had his boys coming up to the room and I was cool with all of them too. But you could tell that the reason why I got put in a room with a black guy is because he didn't want the black guy. He didn't want to be in a room with a black guy. And I had no problem with it. As long as you ain't use no N-word with me. You know how I feel about that. So I mean, flunking out, back to the subject of flunking out, it can be easy if you don't mature quickly. If you don't mature quickly, it can be very, very easy. I mean, you gotta be your time gotta be used wisely. You have to understand at the end of the day, you can't be partying all the time. You know what I mean? You can't be Eddie Murphy and Rick James.
Yeah.
You can't be them. You gotta everything is all the time. And if you're starting to get to the point where you're starting to you better go to start using them tutoring classes, because maybe they have some tutoring classes right there for you.
But you know what I always have to give props out to people our age and older that went back to school and got their degrees and all that. And them motherfuckers, they might not have been shit in school when they was 18, 19, 20. But when them motherfuckers go back, when they in their 40s or 50s, they be like A students. And I be thinking like, how the fuck you do that? I wasn't no A student when I was in college. I mean, you know what I mean? When I was a full-time student and didn't have no responsibilities or nothing to do but go to school. So I couldn't imagine giving a fuck about school or class or a test the next day or exam or paper when I got an electric bill, gas bill, child support, children, a house, mortgage, rent, car note, co-workers, the investments. You know what I mean? That and they be doing it. And they all told me that it became easier for them to really focus on their studies because it literally was for the money this time. You know what I mean? They wasn't going back to school just to finish their degree. They needed that degree so they could move up in their job, whether they needed a bachelor's degree or whether they needed their master's or something like that. So it was like they had a clearly defined goal, set, and they went and killed it. I mean, it'd be funny as shit. Here this person is 38, 45 years old. They're like, yeah, look. I made the dean's list. I'm like, on the inside, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, how you shit? I would be like, fuck that exam. How about that? I'm paying for this shit. You can't make me go. You know what I mean? But I gotta give it to him.
That's much respect right there. The fact that you want to go back is enough respect right there within itself.
I mean, that's male and female, man. I've known females that killed it. I've known dudes. You know what I mean? Like, shit, yo, dude, I got a 3.9. I'm pissed because I should have got a 4.0. I'm like, a what? Ain't a 4.0? That's like a fucked up Mustang. Who you bought that off of? 4.0? Nigga, what?
I'm serious, and cause me at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, I was like, I was getting ready to go back. I was getting ready to go to culinary school, because I wanted that paper. But then when I was working at this restaurant called La Tourage, and his chef's name was Clark Gilbert, right? And The restaurant was a French restaurant. And he never went to school for anything. And this man was like a beast in the kitchen. He was the shit. White guy. I mean, motherfucker used to sing like every time he turned around, he was singing New Edition songs and all this shit. Motherfuckers sound like these motherfuckers. This white boy. Cool as shit. So when I was so fucking, when I went there, I was so insecure of me being in the kitchen because I didn't have that degree. And if you know about culinary schools, Johnson and Wells, CIA, the restaurant school, it was people there that had these degrees already.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I was like, just put me in prep. So I was in prep. Until one night, one of the guys called out, and my chef was like, come upstairs. I want you to work up here in the line and do saute. After that, that was it for me. I knew my shit now. I knew I belonged because I was up there knocking these dishes out. You know, so I mean, and this was the first restaurant I worked at after this is the first restaurant I worked at after I was working at the Marriott Hotel. After I left Marriott at the airport, I really didn't have that knowledge in the kitchen because Marriott was a sous vide kitchen. I don't know if you know what sous vide is. Sous vide is stuff that's already pre-cooked and pre-prepped.
Okay.
Like your black beans, your marinara sauce, your gravies, all that already comes already made. You just gotta throw it in a double broiler of water and just thaw it out and just pour it in a pan. So if you run out of it, you run out of it because if you don't know what you're doing and you're not in the culinary industry long enough, you can't prep it up.
Okay.
So you run out, you run out. So when I was doing all that and everything, right, is that you know, once I realized I belong, I just started doing my own homework. So the best schooling I got is number one, God gave me a gift and working under a bunch of good chefs and loving it. If you don't love what you do and do what you love, then you got to find something else to do, bro.
Well, flunking out of school will change your mind about a whole lot of things. You know what I mean? You start wondering about, you know, what your next step is and also what you're actually good at. Let me ask you this. Since you've had kids who went to school, were they always did they have challenges on going to school? Like did they like school? Did they cut class? Did you have to really get on them to make sure that they was doing what they were supposed to do? How did that go?
You know, all my kids like school. Four of my kids, two of my kids didn't one got a GED and the other one didn't graduate. My oldest daughter,
okay,
because of personal issues. All my oldest graduated, but the one that bothered me the most was my middle son. And the reason why he bothered me is because his potential. He was smart as shit, but he didn't want to put the work in. I remember, and he went to Greenfield too.
He went to Greenfield. Okay.
Yeah, my daughter, my oldest daughter, one of my oldest daughters graduated from Greenfield, and he graduated from Greenfield. Oh no, he didn't graduate from Greenfield. He didn't want to go to Greenfield no more. So we took him out and put him in there. So the thing about him is he didn't want to put the work in. He knew the work. Like one time I went up to the meeting with the school and the teacher was asking him, why is it that he wasn't doing the work? He said, because it's easy and I don't feel like doing the work. And I'm looking at this little bastard like, what the fuck is he talking about? I'm like, what? You want to say that shit in front of my face?
Okay. So
so that's the thing that really, and we spoke about it about 2 weeks ago. I was like, yo, you didn't want to put the work in. Can you imagine how your life would be different had you put the work in? He's like, you know what, Dad, you're right. I should have been listening to you the whole time, Mom. But at the end of the day, I'm making changes now. I said, you're absolutely correct. But sometimes I'm just saying that when you have your own children, you have to make sure that you guide them in the right direction to put the work in.
Well, see, but this is what we talking about tonight.
Yeah.
This is what we talking about tonight. Because when you have children, when you have kids, and they may have challenges, when it comes to school that aren't necessarily related to their scholastic aptitude. You know what I mean? It may not be a problem with them understanding how to do the work, but you can get caught up in all kinds of other stuff. And next thing you know, school becomes secondary to you. But here's the funny thing about some people who flunk out of school is that it almost seems like they fearless against their parents, fearless against authority figures. You know what I mean? Like, my thing is, I couldn't flunk because I was going to get in trouble. But the other cats that dropped out of school, and when we was growing up, we was, we had friends who was going to Glen Mills and Slayton Farms and Lafayette, and that group home shit. You know what I mean? So, you don't always think about that when you going to school and you're around other students that are doing their thing and trying to, especially you went to Bach, I went to Franklin Learning Center. So we around kids that's really trying to do something, career wise in their lives. But when we come home to the block, we see all kinds of shit. We see the kids that we went to school with before, and we see how they doing, and it always intrigued me about the people who dropped out of high school, because I'm like, what the fuck do you do when you drop out of high school? Of course, you flunked out before you dropped out, because you can't miss 60 days out of a damn high school year and expect to pass. So although people be talking about, well, it wasn't no problem with me doing the work in high school. I just wasn't going. But like, well, guess what happened when you didn't go? Because I know what the report cards was looking like. When you missed 30 days in one marking period.
Mm-hmm.
I know what my brother's report card looked like.
I know one thing: when you get that W and you bring that report card, Mom, see that W in your report card? That's it for you.
Well, evidently, here's the thing. Evidently, not all parents was fucking their kids up because they was flunking out.
Yeah,
it wasn't like that. That's why I said it seemed to me like they was fearless. Like they didn't give a fuck. I went to school with cats that hardly ever came to school. When they would come to school, I'd be like, damn, man, where you been? Oh, yeah, well, I've been blah, 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 blah. I'm like, damn. It wasn't shit. Like it wasn't shit. So I'm like, oh, okay. So a lot of cats dropped out, but you flunk out before you drop out. Dropping out just means that you're not even willing to go back and flunk no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like you decide to go another way with this. But at the end of the day, you still only 16, 17, 18 years old. Now, you might be 18 only in the 10th grade, but hey, it happens. You know what I mean? So, and if you are 18 in the 10th grade, and I'm talking about the low 18, or should I say the high 18, about to turn 19, so that probably means you flunked twice. So there was already a lot of flunking going on before you dipped out. Now, I've known people who went through all of that and they still came back. And they came back, went back to school, got their GED or whatever, and did what they had to do or did what they wanted to do. So
you gotta respect that in itself too. I mean, when you flunk out in high school, and you make a decision to go back to get your GED, you gotta respect that. That's almost just as well as somebody up in their 30s or 40s going back to college. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Troy. When we were in school, it's a funny thing because they hinged everything to us on at least getting your high school diploma. Even though you could get a manual labor job, whether you started off as a laborer or skilled, and or factory job and actually make a living and feed your family. And we acted like high school was the most important thing in the world. You fast forward to 2026 and cats act like a high school diploma ain't shit. Yet you don't have those technical jobs or those manual labor jobs, those blue collar jobs to sustain. Y'all don't even know how to do no shit like that. So you know it's an alarming situation for real, for real. These cats feel like they don't need high school or college. You know, I mean, if I had a nickel for everybody who say, yo, college is a hoax, or, you know what I mean, it's a scam just to get your money for the student loans. And I'm like, you know, they actually give you something for the, you know, they don't just take your money. You actually get something in exchange for it that you can cash in. But weird times. Because these cats out here, we had such a high population of kids dropping out within the last 15 years that we closed schools down as an excuse. I don't buy that excuse, but they...
And that's the messed up part. Especially closing down trade schools.
Especially closing down trade schools. Because you don't have nothing going for you.
So now when you close down the trade schools, and I'm like I said, I don't want to never get off topic. When you close down the trade schools, who do you hurt the most? You hurt the urban communities because a lot of kids don't want to go to regular college. Some of them want to get a trade. You know what I mean? So now when you close down them trade schools, right, it hurts the urban community. So one thing, like I was talking to one of my friends before, and I was telling them, you can't, the city can't get upset about the shit the kids is doing when you created the environment. When you close down a big ass trade school that during the summertime, it creates jobs for them. You got hairdressers that can go do internships. You got plumbers and all these other people that can do internships during the summertime and get paid for that. You took that shit away from them. And the city didn't provide summer jobs for them anymore. So now what you think they're going to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, and then if it's just about the school and you're not giving them nothing to shoot for, at some point in time, they're going to have what the fuck I'm going to school for. That's why you have a high dropout rate here in Philly.
Well,
that's one reason.
Well, the thing is, the magnet schools don't have high dropout rates because the kids had to apply to go to those schools and they really wanted to go. So you're really hurting the community as a whole when you close down a magnet school. Now you didn't used to have to go to a magnet school in order to learn a trade. They had trades that they used to call shop in the neighborhood schools. You know what I mean? Now, of course, they been took the trades out of there. They been took the shops out of the neighborhood schools, and people used to laugh at the people who took shop. The people that was good in shop, they used to laugh at them like, you don't know how to read and write, do math and all that, but you know how to, I don't know. No, because they used to have automotive shop and all that kind of shit. They used to have the same trade shops in neighborhood schools as they do in the trade schools. That just wasn't the emphasis. And they would laugh at people who who took shop because they were supposed to be the ones that weren't good in regular school, but they learned how to fix cars, they learned how to make cabinets, they learned how to do carpentry and masonry and all of that kind of shit. So there were ways for you to be, there were pathways for you to be successful in school, before I would say like the 90s that just, I would say the 2000s, because we were still going strong in the 90s, that we just didn't have. We didn't have as the turn of the century came. They knocked all that out. And that was a systematic plan because their excuse for it was that kids ain't going to school. So I'm like, and that's the reason you closing the school because kids aren't going to school. So fuck the ones that were showing up. We shutting down for the ones who didn't show up. And that makes sense to you.
Well, that was just one reason. Like, they shut down Bach, right? And the reason why they shut down Bach was the gentrification, and they didn't want that type of environment in that community. You see what I'm saying? So they didn't want the noise, or they didn't want the charter bus traffic, and they didn't want the urban traffic in that community.
In South Philly.
Yes.
Like, what's more urban than South Philly?
Hey.
Name a neighborhood.
Yes. And we know that, and I know that. But when you got people, when you building $500,000 and $1 million homes, you want to protect you want the investments to be protected.
Oh, you mean when you turning regular row homes into $500,000 homes? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say build. You mean renovate?
When you renovating and you doing that, you don't want them investments to be bothered by, the African American community.
But the
trade schools were dominantly black.
It ain't have to be that way. It wasn't like white people couldn't go there.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did they learn trades from? Because it's always been more white people in Philly than black people. We just had a good population, a high population of black people, but it wasn't like we was 60 and they was 40. Mm-hmm. I mean, but here's the thing: a lot of those white schools, a lot of the schools in white neighborhoods in Philly, they had the trades in those neighborhood schools, so they didn't have to go to Bach, they didn't have to go to Dobbins, they didn't have to go to Masbomb. But I don't know about Bach. But and Masbomb, white people went there and they definitely went to Franklin.
Like I said, you had some sprinkles in there. It wasn't dominantly. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Hold on, Troy. We got a call on line. Hold on.
You have a call from Cheryl.
Cheryl Halsey, welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for calling in. What's going on, Ma? How you feeling tonight?
Hey, sir.
How you doing,
Cheryl? I'm okay. Excuse me. I'm okay. But speaking on the topic, I did drop out at an early age. Because, I did.
Okay.
But I want to address something right now. Lauren in the chat. Now, I've been putting up with her insults for, quite a while. But I don't play like that, okay?
Okay.
And I thought this is a channel where we give respect to people,
Okay.
So, her last remark, we thought you died. It's just ignorant, it's childish. But I'm not going to tolerate it. Troy, how you doing? Okay. Everybody else in the chat?
Okay. My goal this week, Cheryl, is to be in the chat all week.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
How you been feeling?
I'm going to try to match the same goal. Okay. All right.
How you been feeling?
Okay. Well, the others in the chat. Hello. And I love you guys all. But I don't know what's up with Lauren. Okay.
Well, Lauren is actually a dude.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
Oh, okay, really? All right.
All right.
Well,
Well,
whatever.
let me shoot him. Let me shoot him a warning. Let me shoot him a warning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do what we have to do if he keep crossing the line.
Right. I didn't know a female. I did. Well, I didn't know female or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just don't play like that.
I got
try to respect everybody.
Yeah.
And I expect the same in return.
That's a fact.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But before you go, did you ever go?
Try to enjoy the show.
Hold on.
Okay.
But before you go, when you said you dropped out at a young age, did you ever go back?
No, I didn't go back, but my daughter did. She dropped out at a young age, and she went back, and she got her degree. She works at the hospital. Where she works? She works radiation. Yeah, but yeah, she went back. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like I said, she got her degree. Took out of the kids. My sisters and brothers. Just me. I was just young and fast. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, but my husband was he could have went on. Yeah, he could have went on because he was in 12th grade. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he just wanted to. I didn't want him to drop out of school.
Right.
But he did. Yeah, he did. But anyway, he was well educated. Well educated.
Okay.
But when you're young, you're young. I always say young and dumb. Okay. Yeah.
I would say too. Yeah, I know I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was definitely young and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned like you hear them saying, if I knew what I know now back then, things could have been much better. But we can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're young. You don't know what you're doing.
That's a fact.
But we did stay together for over 40 years. So, stay, and we made it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were blessed. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Okay. All right.
Well, thanks for calling in, as usual.
Everybody, love everybody.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right. You have a good night.
All righty.
All right. Good stuff from Miss Cheryl, as usual. As usual.
I'm gonna tell you this, before I'm going to be on here tomorrow night, because before I even start, if the alphabet person Lauren, the alphabet community Lauren comes on here tomorrow, I am going to be saying some things to her, because she was saying a lot to me tonight. So and and I was holding back because my brother was like, Troy, when we talking. They're doing that, you do this. But before I do this tomorrow night and call in, I will be talking to brother sister Lauren.
Okay. Brister. Southern.
First she said she's from Canada, then live in South Carolina, then she switched it up. I'm from Canada, and I live in ATL. Okay.
Hey. That's the kind of person that asks where you from, and then they from there too.
But hey man, you know what? Like I said, man, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, man.
Well, that's a fact. That's an actual fact.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just like Miss Cheryl calling in, she was talking about how she did this, how she dropped out of school. Cheryl, not how you start, is how you finish, and how you finish was wonderful. And not just that, your daughter went back to school, and now she's working in the hospital. Got a degree and everything. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a win. It's a win-win when it comes to that. And I believe that. Don't allow you falling out of school or flunking out of school to hinder you from being great.
Right.
Because you have to always have a plan A, a plan B, and if need be, a plan C. But don't let your C be the corner. You like that one, didn't you? You like that one, didn't you? I like that. I got to keep that one.
But you're right, though.
There's a lot
You're right, though. So, yeah, I mean, it really is about how you finish. But the thing is, even if you never go back to school, you may feel like you had unfinished business. You know what I mean? That's why it's important to go back and finish the things that you feel like you may have failed at. And just because you fail at one thing, it doesn't necessarily mean that will spread out to the other things in your life that you do. But when you really wanted to finish something that you started, regardless of how long ago it may have been, that may be a little thorn in your side going forward, because regardless of how much success you may have enjoyed, for example, LL dropped out. He dropped out of school. I'm not even sure about the circumstances that encouraged him to drop out of school, but he at 16 years old, he was already making records and whatever, making money and all of that. So he probably dropped out around then. But even after he was already making millions of dollars and shit like that, he wanted to go back and get his high school diploma because he knew he really ain't had no business dropping out. He had a mother, a father, and his grandparents were very strong and influential in his life. That's not normally the type of people that drop out of school. Right. But you can have all kinds of things going on with you that can make you, have trouble in classes. Whether, people might think that you were slow or having a learning disability or something like that, when it could have been something else. You might have needed your hearing checked. You might have needed your eyes checked. You know what I mean? Certain things used to happen with students back in the day that used to go unnoticed or unaddressed, and we thinking that the child just ain't trying. Ass whoopings is as corrective as people may think that they are. That shit don't increase your brain power. It just don't. You have to find out exactly what's going on. What's the problem that's making you not even want to try anymore? And it could be a variety of things. We have to remember that young people in high school, there is so much hormonal, crazy hormonal activity going on. We be thinking that when we go through puberty, maybe some people go through puberty real young, like 10, 11, and some people don't go through puberty until they like 12, 13, 14. And the effects of it ain't over just because that puberty stage is gone. And that's why you have like teenagers, getting in trouble, being violent, committing suicide. All kinds of crazy shit happens to kids in high school. You know what I'm saying?
You know me out about today's kids. They're saying this shit is so easy up there. Nobody can tell me that school is not easier for them.
It's not easy to what?
It's more easier for them than it was for us.
I don't think it is.
I think. Let me just give you, because I see the work. I see the work that my twins get. I see the work that my sons will get. But the difference between my middle son and my daughter, because my daughter graduated during the COVID era in 2020.
Okay.
The difference is my twins, they got computers. They're able to use a computer during tests. They're able to use damn calculators during tests.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to go through no Dewey Decimal System and go to a library and get printouts. They don't have to do all that shit. Majority of things they do, they get a computer in class now.
Mm-hmm.
So they take that right home. So a lot of that work is done unless if that child is not putting their focus on the computer, that's different. But if they're focused on the computer, everything comes through the portal. Everything comes through the computer now.
Mm-hmm.
Their homework comes through the computer. When they got to do their tests, some tests come through the computer. You can't, even if you call out of school, your homework is still on your computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is with us, we got to play catch. Back in the day, we had to play catch up. We had to go to the library. We had to make sure we had change in our pocket to go to get printouts, to print out stuff out of the damn encyclopedia.
Microfiche.
Huh?
Microfiche.
Yes.
Fucking microfiche.
To do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even to put, but the only thing different between our shit and their shit, I think today's peer pressure and today's bullying is more harsh than what we went through. Could be back then we didn't look at it as bullying.
Well, they don't know. See, we think their schoolwork is easier because they're able to use electronic devices in order to do it. But it's not easier to them because they don't know the other way. They don't know the manual way. You know what I mean? So they don't have that to compare it to. So whereas we may be okay on a computer, they have to be excellent because they grew up in it. So they have to master it. So, we can compare it to how we grew up and say, yeah, man, y'all got all the tools to cheat, but they don't know the other way to compare that to. So the only way they know is the way it is right now. And I've seen some of the new math and all that shit. I'd be like, what kind of fucking math is that? They don't look easy to me.
Because your daughter, you seen it.
Yeah. I'm like, shit, I ain't fucking with that. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I know how to do regular, a pencil with an eraser math. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know how y'all got to that number. That's not factoring a trinomial. Like that, yeah, they homework is different. That shit crazy different. So I don't know. And just like you were saying, like when it comes to bullying for them, like their bullying is not bullying to us. It's just getting busted on, or what they call bidding. Oh, you just got bidded on. Yeah, you are crying. But for us, bullying was like the kind of shit that made you scared to go to school because you thought you was gonna get beat up. Their bullying is, ashamed to go to school because a video been posted about them. You know what I mean? So it's different. It's different. I'm not sure if we would have been able to deal with that. We was able to move with a certain level of secrecy and being covert. They can't do it. Everything they do is right out there on Front Street. So, I mean, it's a little bit. I don't think you can really compare the two, but they have their challenges. And if they didn't have their challenges, then all of them would be graduating school, and they're not. All of them would be doing well in school, and they're not. All of them would be going to school, and they don't. So, who knows what the future is going to hold for them? When we were in school, our future was pretty certain based on how far we went in school. With them, it's not so. They don't know what the fuck. They're being taught to believe that the longer they go to college, the longer they're going to be paying back a debt that they can't afford to pay back because they can't find a job that pays. That's what they're being taught. That's what they're being taught day in and day out. It's not even true, but that's what they're being taught. And the school is way more expensive for them. Shit, when I was in college, my parents could pay for my tuition out of pocket, and we still had aid. We had full ride aid. I wouldn't call it a scholarship for me because my grades don't allow me to use words like that. But they made the pathway to being able to go to school and get aid very, very seamless. Whereas these kids, it's not. They don't have the same kind of grants and scholarships that we were eligible for. All of their stuff, well, should I say most of their stuff is all loans. So there are challenges. But speaking of loan, you drop out of school and all you have left is a loan to pay back. And you don't be thinking about it at first, but shit, until you finally get a decent mate, until you finally get a decent job, or maybe not that great of a job, and you counting on that tax return, and guess who got it?
Yes, they do.
Oh no, it gets worse. They grab that tax return. If you at this job, you at this job where they about to holler at your employer and be garnishing them wages.
And the only thing you have to do is make a call and tell them that you're going to give them this amount of money. And they will take all your money.
And you better do that in a timely manner. I'll never forget when I was getting my wages garnished by student loan. I thought I got over, like, all right, y'all took my tax return. So, that's that. They was like, no, we get your tax return and we garnishing your wages until your shit is paid back. So you got this big ass debt that you have to pay back, and yeah, and you won't stop getting your wages garnished and losing your tax return until you pay it in full. And there's nothing you can do to reverse it because you already defaulted to the point where they garnished you. If you would have made an agreement to pay and paid something, whatever, they wouldn't have took your tax return. They would have never garnished your wages. But you ain't want to answer the phone. You ain't want to return no mail. Okay, we got you. Now you ain't got to do all of that. So people have quit their job trying to duck student loan and all of that shit. But guess what? I got something for all of y'all that you might not know. For all of y'all who have had your wages garnished by the federal government because of federal student loans, or was losing your tax return every year because of federal student loans that you had to pay back. If you get fired from your job and collect unemployment, they cannot garnish that, and they can't get your tax return. They can't because unemployment is a federal program, and a federal program can't impede on another federal program. Now, guess how I found that out? I found that out. I was like, yo, this unemployment is the best thing that had. They was fucking my check up. You know what I mean? They got these boxing videos on Instagram where they got old clips of Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hitman Hearns, Marvin Hagler, and whoever, and they just fucking that's how they was getting my check. Boop, 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 boop. I was like, God damn. And it wasn't nothing I could do. I tried to make a deal with them. They was like, no deals now. You know what I mean? No. Well, why would we make a deal with you now for? You know what I mean? You've already showed bad faith. So that's your ass, nigga. And speaking of that, now I don't owe any student loans because of Joe Biden in the student loan forgiveness program. None. Shit, zero as fuck.
Thanks, Granddad.
That's what I'll be like, look, motherfuckers talking about some Joe Biden. Yeah, I mean, they believe all that right-wing rhetoric. Oh, he was the worst president. I'm like, my ass. That motherfucker was the best. Even Obama ain't do that shit. He wiped that shit clean.
Like the bull banger from off of Seinfeld. The best, Jerry. The best.
My credit report went up 80 fucking points when they removed those fucking student loans.
Oh my God.
I went from, fair credit to the very good status. I was like, yeah.
Thanks, Granddad.
Like a motherfucker. I was like, don't nobody say nothing about my Uncle Biden. Don't nobody.
Pop alone. You gonna leave my pop alone?
Like, don't say, fuck Trump. Fuck him. But yeah, but Bryce says something be scheming. Like, no, yo, I fell into, you know what I mean? Like that shit dropped in my lap. I got fired from a job and boom. I thought they was going to fuck up the unemployment check. It was explained to me like, nope, that student loan shit on hold. And when you get a new job, they got to start the process all over again. They can't automatically start garnishing your wages. Hey man, that's news you can use. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You owe student loans, they've been fucking up your check. You need to get fired for a while. Reset the whole shit. By that time, you can go ahead and call them, mail them, and whatever, and get out of default and stop the garnishment and stop the revocation of your student loan. I mean your tax returns. You gotta do what you gotta do. All right, Troy, let's do these. Let's do the poll question.
Let's do your poll question. I want to tell everybody in the chat, Jason, JJ, Cheryl, and all the family. I love everybody. I gotta talk to some people in the chat real quick. Gotta have a conversation in the chat.
All right.
How you doing, Bryce? I gotta talk to you for a minute, bro.
Which would you say is the main reason that students drop out of college? 20% said flunking out or bad grades. 40% said financial aid or student loans. 40%, huh? 13% said first time freedom, too much partying. And 27% said got a job or career before finishing. Okay. I want to thank everybody for participating in the poll question. I appreciate you very, very much for that. And so most people think that financial aid and student loans are the reason to drop out of school, huh? Well, the thing is that the financial aid and student loans don't become an issue until your grades get fucked up. I know that, and the people who have flunked out, who have dropped out of school, they know it too. It's all good. Better luck next time. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious January 19th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. My baby girl, my daughter, Ayana McIntyre. Happy birthday to you, my dear. Love you to death, resuscitate you, and love you back to life. That's where all my eggs in the basket are. And also our very own go-getter, Nicole Ellis. You can find her in the chat sometimes. You know what I mean? Happy birthday to you, Ma. Thanks for being part of this team. And also Shanika Jones, Lovely Price, Camille Richardson, Keita Ward, Danny Morgan, Maurice Deuce Sr., Kanika Cook, Janelle Natson, also a go-getter, and Damian Everly. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious day. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. 20 audience. January 19th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally, all of y'all go ahead and turn up, turn up. But don't turn up too loud, just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, flunking out of school, flunking a class, flunking a grade, or flunking a test, the shit always makes you feel bad or like you didn't try enough. But yo, you gotta do the things before they call you bluff and stuff your pockets full of that green. And if you flunk out and you flunk at your job, yo, yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna work out too well, but I say you sell yourself just like a piece of paper, but the caper that you move on to the next thing. Everything is gonna be all right. You gotta grab the ring. And you a real king and you a real queen. So why you acting like you're dumb as hell? Yo, you're on the scene. And it's been a long time since I seen you in class, but everything is going to move along real fast. And you get back on your horse and start to ride, everything is going to be okay because inside, you know, you got the heart of a lion, and I ain't buying that you ain't really out there. Yeah, pushing and trying to get better at the job you do. Everything is going to work out well because of you. You got the good stuff inside, got from your people, mom and dad, even if you never saw it. I say you had the things, the good stuff that's inside the body. Everything's gonna be all right, like Gotti. You never will finish high school and all them gangsters, but you ain't trying to be in that life or not be a wankster or anybody that's trying to be hard. All you're trying to do is take care of your family and praise God. Speaking of praise God until the Most High, I'm going to try, and I ain't going to lie. I failed at things. I failed at all the stuff that I wanted to be better at, called my bluff at the time when I was faking the funk. But I'm still going on and I'm making dough in chunks. And I got a lot of spunk. And I ain't trying to go out like a sucker punk. Yo, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow night. We going to have another topic and get right. And we ain't got to fight and fuss. And we ain't got to be talking to each other all loud and starting to cuss and get all kinds of bad feelings about my brothers because we got to be there and be there for each other. And I know when other people might not understand that we just like this, an instrument band. So I see my man Jay on the drums and I see my man JJ, yeah, the guitar is where he from. And my man Bryce is getting nice. And my man Troy is on back getting right. So, and when I see my girl Cheryl, we got two Cheryls. Yo, they on the background vocals, the girls are sounding real good. Band striking up. Yo, we gonna make a hell of an album, yup. And T Carrie Wright, morning, noon, and night. Yo, she managing the band and everything is gonna be all right. Gold records and platinum. Yo, you see the shit and I'm platinum. All right. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night with another daily Go Get 'Emism show. So make sure y'all come on through. In the meantime, in between time, make sure y'all hit that like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. You haven't subscribe to the channel yet. So I holla, man. Be safe out there, y'all. It's either time to go to work or time to go to bed. I go bye. I go night. Peace. Love is love.